a collection of horrible fates, true stories. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into some of the most chilling and horrible fates that people have faced. We're talking about the stuff of nightmares, the things that make you want to sleep with the lights on. We're going to look at 5 terrifying scenarios, and trust me, these are as real as it gets. We're not talking about fictional monsters or movie magic here, but the actual horrible things that have happened to real people. Get ready to be shocked, get ready to be terrified, and get ready to be thankful that you weren't in these situations. Brace yourselves, because this is going to be a wild ride. Alright guys, so you ever think about the worst ways to go, like really picture it, falling from a plane, being eaten by a shark? That's the kind of dark stuff we're exploring today. This isn't about freaking you out though. It's about perspective, man. It's about realizing how fragile life is, how quickly things can go wrong. When we hear these stories, these true accounts of people facing unimaginable horror, it makes you appreciate your own life a little more. And let's be real, sometimes the truth is way scarier than fiction. We're hardwired to fear the unknown, the unexpected, and these stories, they tap right into that primal fear. So buckle up, because we're about to journey into the darkest corners of human experience. We're talking about claustrophobia, isolation, the fight for survival against impossible odds. This is a reminder that life is precious, and it can change in an instant. We're diving into the abyss, exploring the fates that haunt our nightmares. Are you ready? Let's go. Imagine this. You wake up, but you're trapped. Your heart races as you realize you can't move. You can't move, you can't breathe, it's pitch black. The walls are closing in, and you feel the weight of the earth pressing down on you. The weight of the earth is crushing you, and the air is running out. Every breath you take feels like it could be your last. This isn't a horror movie, this is the reality of being buried alive. A nightmare that has haunted humanity for centuries. Throughout history, there have been countless cases of people being mistakenly declared dead and buried alive. The fear of premature burial was so widespread that people devised various methods to prevent it. Can you even imagine the panic, the desperation, the sheer terror of realizing you're trapped with no way out? To be trapped in a coffin 6 feet under with no way out? The claustrophobia alone is enough to drive anyone mad. Back in the day, they didn't have the medical technology we have now. Diagnosing death was not as precise, leading to tragic mistakes. People were sometimes buried in a coma or some other state that mimicked death. They'd wake up to a living nightmare, buried alive with no one to hear their cries. They'd wake up to a living nightmare. The realization that they were buried alive would hit them like a ton of bricks. And the worst part, they couldn't even scream for help. Their cries were muffled by the earth above them, their voices lost in the darkness. The dirt muffled their cries, trapping them in their own personal tomb. The silence was deafening, the darkness all-consuming. Some people even tried to claw their way out, leaving scratch marks on the inside of their coffins, their desperate attempts to escape etched into the wood for eternity. Even today, with all our advancements, it still happens. Mistakes happen. People are sometimes declared dead when they're not. It's rare, but the fear is real. The thought of being buried alive is enough to send shivers down anyone's spine. Imagine the feeling of the dirt falling on your coffin, the sound of the world disappearing above you, the finality of it all. It sends chills down your spine, right? The thought of being trapped, helpless, with no one to save you. It makes you want to appreciate every breath, every moment you have above ground, to cherish the life you have, knowing how fragile it can be. We're going to take a look at some chilling accounts of people who lived through this nightmare, stories that will stay with you long after this video is over. These are tales of survival, of sheer willpower, and of the human spirit's unyielding desire to live. Chapter 3. Lost at Sea. The ocean is vast, powerful, and unforgiving. To be lost at sea is to be completely at its mercy. Imagine this, the sun beating down on you, the endless horizon stretching in every direction. You're adrift alone with no land in sight. The thirst is the first thing that gets you. The salt water burns your throat, makes you thirstier. Your skin starts to crack, your lips blister. Then there's the hunger gnawing at your stomach. You might catch a fish, but without fire, it's raw. And then there's the mental toll. The isolation, the despair. You start to see things, hear things. The mind can play tricks when it's pushed to the brink. You're surrounded by water, but you can't drink it. Sharks circle below, drawn to your vulnerability. The sun scorches your skin during the day, and the cold chills you to the bone at night. We're going to hear stories of incredible survival, of people who fought against all odds and made it back to shore. But we're also going to hear stories of those who were swallowed by the sea, their fates forever unknown. Being lost at sea is a battle against the elements, a test of human endurance. It's a terrifying reminder of how small we are in the face of nature's power. Chapter 4, Trapped in a Burning Building. Fire is a force of nature. It has the power to create and to destroy, to warm and to burn. In the blink of an eye, it can turn a safe haven into a deadly trap. It can be life-giving, but it can also be incredibly destructive. The very element that has allowed human civilization to thrive can also bring it to its knees. Imagine this: the smell of smoke, the flickering light of flames. The once familiar surroundings now look like a scene from a nightmare. The fire alarm blares, but you're trapped. The sound is deafening, a constant reminder of the danger you're in. The hallway is an inferno, the air thick with smoke. Every breath feels like it's burning your lungs. The heat is intense, making it hard to breathe. Sweat pours down your face, mixing with the soot and ash. You cough, your eyes stinging. The smoke is relentless, invading every part of your being. Panic sets in as you realize there's no way out. Your mind races, searching for an escape that doesn't exist. The flames are closing in, licking at the walls, consuming everything in their path. The destruction is total, merciless. You know that every second counts. Time is your enemy, and it's slipping away faster than you can comprehend. You're racing against time, against the smoke, against the flames themselves. Each step feels like a battle for survival. The fear is overwhelming, paralyzing. It's a primal fear, one that grips you and won't let go. You can hear the roar of the fire, the screams of others trapped inside. The chaos is all-consuming, a cacophony of terror. Firefighters are your only hope, but will they reach you in time? Their bravery is unmatched. But even they are racing against the clock. The smoke is blinding, choking. It fills every corner, every crevice, leaving no place to hide. You can't see, you can barely breathe. The heat is unbearable. It's like being in an oven, with no way to escape. It's a race against time, a desperate struggle for survival. Every second feels like an eternity. We're going to hear stories of bravery, of selflessness, of people risking their lives to save others. These are the heroes who run towards the danger, not away from it. But we're also going to hear stories of tragic loss, of lives cut short by this unforgiving force. The aftermath is a somber reminder of the fragility of life. Being trapped in a burning building is a nightmare scenario. It's a situation no one ever wants to find themselves in. It's a reminder of how quickly things can go wrong and the importance of fire safety. Knowing what to do in those critical moments can mean the difference between life and death. Chapter 5. Stranded in a desert. Deserts are vast, unforgiving landscapes. They stretch out as far as the eye can see, with no end in sight. They can be beautiful, with their stunning sunsets and serene landscapes, but they can also be deadly, with temperatures that can soar to unbearable heights during the day and plummet to freezing lows at night. Imagine this: the sun beating down on you, relentless and unyielding, the sand stretching endlessly in every direction, with no landmarks to guide you. You're lost alone with no water and no shade. The isolation is overwhelming and the silence is deafening. The thirst is relentless, a burning sensation in your throat that won't go away. Your lips are cracked and dry, splitting with every word you try to speak. Your tongue feels like sandpaper, rough and dry, making it hard to swallow. You'd give anything for a single drop of water, just one drop to soothe the burning in your throat. The heat is oppressive, suffocating. It feels like an invisible weight pressing down on you. It feels like an oven, baking you alive with no escape from the relentless sun. The sun glares down, reflecting off the sand, blinding you with its intensity. You stumble through the dunes, desperate for any sign of life, any source of water. Each step feels heavier than the last. Hallucinations start to set in. You see mirages, shimmering pools of water that disappear as you approach. Hear voices in the wind, whispering promises of relief that never come. The desert is testing you, pushing you to your absolute limit. You're fighting against dehydration, against heat stroke, against the sheer vastness and emptiness of your surroundings. The isolation can drive you to the brink of madness. Will you find your way out? Will you find that precious water source? Or will you succumb to the unforgiving desert, becoming just another bleached skeleton in the sand? We're going to hear stories of resilience, of incredible human spirit and determination, of people who survived against all odds in this harsh environment. Their stories will inspire and amaze you. But we're also going to hear stories of those who were swallowed by the desert, who couldn't overcome its challenges, their remains bleached white by the sun, a stark reminder of the desert's unforgiving nature. Being stranded in a desert is a fight for survival, a battle against the elements, a test of human endurance and willpower. Every decision, every action can mean the difference between life and death. It's a stark reminder of how quickly we can find ourselves at the mercy of nature, and how small we truly are in the face of its vastness. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more chilling content. We dove into some dark places today, explored some truly terrifying fates, but remember, these stories are a reminder to appreciate what we have, to be grateful for our lives and the people in them. Life is precious, and it can change in an instant. Let us know in the comments which fate you found the most terrifying, and as always, stay curious, stay safe, and we'll see you in the next video.